It's now time to preview the 2020 season for the Carolina Panthers. My name is Professor MJ and I teach statistics at a Canadian university located in Quebec City. In this video, I'll discuss each position on offense for the Panthers before doing only a summary about their defense to avoid making a video that's 20 minutes long. However, my full analysis is available on my website at professormj.com, as well as my other 31 NFL team previews. You will find a ton of useful information if you are into fantasy football or if you want to increase your knowledge about each team's strengths and weaknesses. That will allow you to make smarter bets. My goal is and will always be to make you a more savvy sports bettor. Alright, so let's dive into the Panthers 2020 preview. The Panthers are turning a big page in their history as they are moving on from 9-year starter Cam Newton. He was one of the best players in franchise history. The team started with a 5-3 record last year, only to drop the remaining 8 games. Ouch. They are one of the teams that had the largest player turnover this offseason. Let's see what 2020 should bring to this franchise. Let's talk about the QB position. The Cam Newton era is over. The Kyle Allen experiment is also over. The team decided to move on from both of them in the offseason. The new sheriff in town is now Teddy Bridgewater. Let's revisit his journey in the NFL. The Vikings took him in the 2014 draft as the number 32 selection overall. Over his first 2 years, he threw 28 TD passes versus 21 interceptions, while displaying nice ability to run. Those are actually not bad numbers for a QB's first couple of seasons. Then injuries forced him to attempt just 2 passes over the next 2 years. He then joined the Saints, where he has appeared in 14 games, where he got 10 TDs and 3 picks. Now 27 years old and having learned behind such a role model like Drew Brees, it does not seem impossible that he becomes an above-average quarterback in this league. Last year, Kyle Allen had 17 TDs versus 16 picks. To me, Bridgewater is clearly an upgrade over him in 2020, and he also provides a higher chance of being the long-term answer. Let's talk about the Panthers running backs. How can you not like watching Christian McCaffrey? He's simply amazing. The numbers are mind-boggling. Around 2,400 rushing plus receiving yards with 19 total TDs last year. In 2018, close to 2,000 rushing plus receiving yards and 13 TDs. Unreal. Reggie Bonifon was the number 2 back last year, which amounted to pretty much nothing since McCaffrey was so good. The team may bring competition, so Bonifon is not a lock to be handed the number 2 duties for the upcoming season, especially since he is an undrafted player. Let's keep rolling with the wide receiver position. DJ Moore had a nice rookie season in 2018 by catching 55 passes. His sophomore season was even better, 87 receptions for close to 1,200 yards and 4 TDs. Those numbers are even more impressive considering he played the vast majority of the time with backup QBs like Kyle Allen and Will Grier. Meanwhile, the same nice comments cannot be made about Curtis Samuel. His progression was not great. He has caught 15, 39, and 54 passes during his first 3 years as a pro. He was hyped as a big play guy, but that has yet to show thus far. And 11.6 yards per catch average does not stand out at all. And he caught just one pass above 40 yards last year. The team made a couple of interesting additions that will give more weapons to Bridgewater. Robby Anderson, formerly of the Jets, and Seth Roberts, formerly of the Ravens. These guys obtained the number 61 and 83 spots in PFF rankings. The acquisition of Anderson is very interesting. He can stretch the field and also get open on short routes. It's time to discuss the tight end position. The team moved on from another longtime Panther, Greg Olsen. He played 9 years in Carolina after beginning his career with the Bears. He has provided a steady production from the tight end position for a long time. Olsen's numbers have taken a hit over the past 3 years. Now 35 years old, the team decided to cut ties with him. The first man up is Ian Thomas. He was selected in the 4th round of the 2018 draft. Don't discard him too soon. He did a respectable job when Olsen missed games with injuries. In 9 games, he averaged 3.9 catches for 39 yards while getting a total of 3 TDs. If you convert those numbers over a 16-game season, that would translate into 62 receptions for over 600 yards and 5 TDs. Not bad. The Panthers also signed Seth DeValve, who played 3 years in Cleveland before joining the Jags last season. He will probably be the number 2 guy, as he offers a smaller likelihood of becoming a good tight end in this league. So overall, the loss of Greg Olsen equates to a downgrade here. It's time to talk about the big fellows on the offensive line. The Panthers allowed a league-high 58 sacks, tied with the Dolphins last season. Still, some of their offensive linemen received pretty respectable grades from Pro Football Focus. The 2 guys that played the most snaps will be back. Taylor Moton, who finished 17th out of 81 tackles, and Matt Paradis, who finished 24th out of 37 centers. However, the next 3 guys are all gone. Try Turner, Darrell Williams, and Greg Van Roten. In order to fill these holes, the team acquired Russell Okung from the Chargers and John Miller from the Bengals. Okung's quality of play crashed last year, and he is now 31 years old. As for Miller, he is backup material. So in summary, the Panthers are not in good shape regarding the outlook of the offensive line play in 2020. The unit was not great last year. They lost some decent guys and replaced them with lesser players. And on top of that, you never like to see too much shuffling on the offensive line. Now with 2 or 3 new guys on the line, it does not bode well in 2020. Alright, so let's summarize what to expect from the 2020 offense. The team clearly improved at the QB and wide receiver positions by adding Teddy Bridgewater and Robby Anderson. The team is set at running back, but you can hardly expect more production than last year, after such an unbelievable season by McCaffrey. Then the tight end position is a question mark, following the loss of veteran Greg Olsen. We often hear about how an offense will go as far as its offensive line takes them. If that's true, the Panthers' offense will be limited by its offensive line. The number of new faces and the questionable quality of the new starters is a big source of concern. As much as I like Teddy Bridgewater, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Robby Anderson, well, having a new QB, a new number 2 receiver, a new starting tight end, and 2-3 new guys on the line, with a possibly shortened preseason, I'm wary of how this group will adjust with fewer time to play together. Let's now talk about the defense. Let's face the reality. The 2020 outlook looks miserable for this defense. You cannot expect things to go well when losing Gerald McCoy, Donta Ripo, Bruce Irvin, Mario Addison, Luke Kuechly, and James Bradbury, and omitting a few more players that are now off the team. Wow! Adding mediocre guys like Zach Kerr, Stephen Weatherly, Tahir Whitehead, and Juston Burris just won't cut it. At least the team did its best to improve the defensive side of the ball through the draft. As a matter of fact, the Panthers became the very first team to pick only defensive players in a complete draft. Derrick Brown, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Jeremy Chin are likely to contribute right away. The team finished 31st in terms of points allowed last season. Ouch! While it will be difficult to go lower than this, I just cannot find any reasons to get excited over this group, except for the young rookies who might still need time to adjust to NFL speed, of course. Now, when talking about the offense, one of my worries was the number of new faces. It might take time to gel together, considering the shorter than usual off-season. Now the situation is even worse for the defense. This unit is definitely headed for a tough ride in 2020. In each of my first 22 NFL team previews, I ended those videos with my final betting tip on whether to bet over or under the team's win total, as set by sportsbooks. In the case of the Carolina Panthers, I would normally let you know right now if they are more likely to win more or less than 5.5 games this year. However, recall what I said in the very first video preceding those 22 team previews. There's an awful lot of hard work behind those analyses. Still, I agreed to give away for free 22 out of the 32 betting tips. But the top 10 plays, those generating the highest return on investment, the ROIs, are available in a special gold package for $500. That's a bargain if you are planning to bet at least $500 to $1,000 per pick, since the ROIs are so high. So far, all betting tips were given away, but starting here with the Carolina Panthers, whose ROI ranks 10th in the league, I cannot unveil the information out of respect to those of you who jumped on this gold package as soon as I made it available a few weeks ago. This is the best product I have ever sold. It is backed by a solid and reliable statistical study where the 2020 season was simulated 1 million times. I plan to bet between $150,000 and $200,000 in Las Vegas on the top plays. So do you still have any doubts about how confident I am about those picks? The link to this gold package can be found below. Don't miss out on this opportunity to make profitable bets, and you'll also enjoy the 2020 NFL season so much more. I've included some mystery bonuses in the package with more betting tips on NFL future bets. Thanks for watching. This is Professor MJ, a university statistics professor. Bye bye.